Kendrick, over his career, has appeared in 225 games and 184 starts while winning 73 times over his 8 seasons, all with the Phillies. The 2003 7th-round pick out of Mount Vernon High School in Washington turned down a football scholarship and made his Phillies debut just 4 years later. Since 2007, the right-hander ranked second among the Phils in starts, innings, and wins. He takes the mound tonight against the team he's had the most success, and with free agency looming, it could be his last as a Philly. There comes a point in every professional baseball player's career when he hits a crossroads, that his last start in a regular season may be his last start or appearance in the uniform which he wore from the beginning of his playing career. Tonight, Kyle Kendrick makes his final start of 2014, and with free agent on the horizon, who knows, it could be his last as a Philadelphia Phil. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Matt Stairs. So the blonde-headed kid, as Charlie Manuel used to call him, will take the baseball tonight, and he's on pace to possibly reach 200 innings for the first time in his career. Kyle Kendrick, who since he came up with the Phils in 2007, has won 73 games. Don't forget, too, he was also in the minor leagues for almost a full season after he made his debut to try to figure some things out. 39 wins at Citizens Bank Park, second most all time. As we mentioned, Matt, this could be his final start in a Phillies uniform, and he goes against a Marlins team that he's really comfortable against.
Well, he's very comfortable, and he knows the last time they met, he had everything working. What I was very impressed with was his fastball. He was spotting his fastball inside, outside, throwing the backdoor cutter. And the Everest was given a very good target, and it seemed like he was just throwing the ball through the glove. His tempo was very good. He didn't throw very many curveballs. His changeup was very good. But to me, he was just established the fastball early in the game. And as you can see in these highlights, he was pinpoint accuracy, outside, backdoor curveball. The cutter didn't matter what it was. He pitched very well.
Well, he walked off the field at Citizens Bank Park with what could be his final time. Who knows? He could even pitch this weekend out of the bullpen against the Atlanta Braves. But here are the numbers against the Marlins: 13-3. The Braves are the next best as far as his win-loss record goes. He has 5 more wins against the Marlins than the Atlanta Braves as he takes the baseball tonight here in South Florida. So Kendrick is part of the story tonight for the Phils. The other part of the story really has been the Phillies' offense. Last night, 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position, shut out for the 15th time this year.
Well, they've struck it out a lot. In the middle of the order, well over 300 strikeouts, not getting that timely hitting. And as you can see in the graphics to me, the one that just, it's so hard to understand is the 300 on-base percentage before the break. Well, they're up to 303. The league average is about 312 in the National League. But look at the difference in the home runs. 77 before the All-Star break, and since the All-Star break, 47. They have that spurt where they're swinging the bat well and they're driving the ball. Then all of a sudden, like last night, they go in there and they swing at the first pitch. They're just making too many easy outs, and it gets frustrating because you watch, because you know they're talented, they know they can hit. Just stay aggressive and use a big part of the field, and you'll see the average will start going up, the batting average, the power, and that's the big thing is the power. The doubles are down as well, so they need to get back to doing the simple things, driving the ball and hitting their pitch until 2 strikes, then they make the adjustment.
All right, well, they only have 5 games left to do all that. 2 here in Miami and then 3 this weekend against the Atlanta Braves. It is game 2 of this 3-game series. Kyle Kendrick, his 32nd start. Brad Hand, meanwhile, will make his 16th start for the Marlins. When we return back here in Miami, we'll get to the lineups and first pitch. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Citizens Bank. Introducing One Deposit Checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyattoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. By Budweiser, a reminder from Budweiser, great times are waiting, designated driver. And by Independence Blue Cross, the most preferred health plan in the region. Independence Blue Cross, live fearless. Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. By Budweiser. Here's to Budweiser. Here's to baseball. And by Independence Blue Cross, the most preferred health plan in the region. Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Ryne Sandberg's team getting set for the second of this three-game series. Let's take a look at his starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. It'll be Revere, Franco, and Utley, followed by Ryan Howard, Marlon Byrd, and Darren Ruff. And the bottom third of Will Nieves, Freddie Galvis, and Kyle Kendrick. They will face 24-year-old left-hander Brad Hand, who's 3-8 so far this season. And lifetime 1-2 against the Phillies. Former second-round pick out of Chaska, Minnesota. You see his numbers. This is his 16th start, 32nd appearance overall. Phillies have faced him before, Matt. He's kind of quirky from the left side. As
you call it, a lefty, crafty lefty. Well, he's a slinger. He kind of drops his arm angle, and you see the Budweiser scouting report, 91, 94 miles an hour, 3-pitch pitcher, and you can see 1-2 record with a 4.13 ERA versus the Phillies.
All right, the first batter that he'll face is Ben Revere. It'll be Revere, Franco, and then Chase Utley. Revere is 1 for 4 in last night's ball game. You see his numbers here in the month of September. Even though he's falling out of the National League batting title race, he's 5th right now. His numbers are still good in September. So happens that the other guys are a little hotter. Little dribbler foul, and it's 0-2. Revere is 3 stolen bases away from 50 for the season, trying to become the first since Juan Samuel to steal 50 bases in a season. He had only one opportunity last night. That was in the first when he led off with an infield hit. Slaps it the other way, and it remains 0-2. We've been talking over the last several weeks about the batting title race, and Justin Morneau, he slipped a point. Josh Harrison went up a point. Andrew McCutchen's there, so is Buster Posey, and then finally Ben Revere. Those are the top 5. Softly to the right side. This may be a tough play. Solano has it, and Revere is. Ooh, I think he may have beaten that one. Ryne Sandberg's coming up the stairs. Larry Bowa is going down the stairs to get to the phone. Angel Hernandez is the first base umpire. And here comes Rhino. And he'll talk to Angel about that play. Matt, I don't know about you. Naked eye, I thought he beat it, but let's take a look at the replay. It's closer than I thought.
It's a bang call for sure.
Looked like the ball may have arrived just ahead of him. Yeah, it did. Well, that's what Ryne Sandberg was signaled. So that's why he goes back to the dugout. They're not going to contest that. Larry Vanover is the crew chief behind the plate. Then Hernandez, Paul Nart, Vic Carapazza around at third. Franco takes low, 1-0. The challenge for Larry Vanover tonight is to see if he can call balls and strikes as fast as Vic Carapazza did last night. Back to the box, and Hand has it. Well, that's part of what you had said during the open, Matt. Not necessarily Revere, but Franco here. A lot of quick outs for the Phils the last several games.
Yeah, and just becoming impatient hitting right now. They're not looking for their pitch. It seems like they're getting a fastball or they're getting a strike thrown to them, and automatically they're swinging. Well, you still have 2 more strikes. So be patient and look for that area you want to hit the ball.
2 outs. Chase Utley's the hitter. He's average at 272, 11 home runs, 76 runs batted in. Chase was 1 for 4 in last night's game. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Outside again, it's 2-0. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Amy Heisen of Port Norris, New Jersey. Phillies hit a home run at today's ball game, then Amy will win $300. Out of play, and it's 2-1. Utley 3 for 12 lifetime against Hand. It's been since the 10th of August that Chase has last hit a home run. He's had a couple of long droughts this season as that one is chopped to first. So a 1-2-3 inning for Brad Hand. Phillies go down with 3 ground ball outs. So on to the bottom of the first inning here in South Florida. It's the Phillies nothing and the Marlins coming up for the first time. Quietly in their half of the first. Let's take a look at Mike Redmond's starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Yelich, Solano, and McGee, followed by Justin Bour, Garrett Jones, and Adeiny Echeverria. Kike Hernandez, the center fielder, bats 7th. Jeff Mathis 8th, and batting 9th at pitching is Hand, of course. And they'll face Phillies right-hander Kyle Kendrick. The 30-year-old, 9-13 on the year with an earned run average of 4.73. The last time the Phillies won a full season without a starting pitcher winning 10 games was 1996. That was Curt Schilling. Well, Kendrick could take care of that by winning his 10th game here tonight, Matt.
Well, he's going against a team that he pretty much dominates. And you can see the Budweiser scouting report, 88 to 91 mile-an-hour fastball. And we'll ignore the middle one because his last 4 outings he has not allowed a run the first inning. And you see he has great numbers, 13-3 with a 3.57 ERA versus the Marlins.
Kyle Kendrick, who at the age of 22 on June 13, 2007, made his major league debut against the White Sox. First pitch is delivered outside. It's 1-0. And all these years, all these games later, he'll make his final start of 2014. Yelich hits one back toward the mound. Big high hop for Kendrick. Ooh. A high throw to first, and Howard will always win that battle, although he was a little off balance. 1-3 on the putout. All right, Matt, time now for our Nissan keys to the game.
Well, my first key, I didn't get out early enough, I guess, but it was for Franco to stay on the pitch away. Seems like he's pulling off a little bit. He needs to go and drive the ball to right field. And my last key is Kendrick, enjoy this start. Have fun and enjoy it and remember it.
Yeah, because he has acknowledged that, I mean, he's realistic. He understands he's a free agent at the end of this season. He'll go into free agency and, and just see what happens, see what his options are. He'll face Donovan Solano, who's 4 for 14 against him in his career. Solano was 0 for 3 in last night's ball game. His sacrifice bunt helped the Marlins get their second run.
He's going to enjoy the free agency market. You know, his first time going out there. You're going to hear some offers. You're going to think you should jump all over the first offer that comes out. You know, maybe not have a winning record, but he, like you said, Tom, earlier, he's getting close to 200 innings. 8 innings tonight. He's right at 200 innings, so he's going to enjoy the offseason.
Well, you've been through it. None of us have ever really been through it. I would think that there's always a little bit of doubt that creeps in, and it gets a little nerve-wracking after a while.
Yeah, but he's been healthy his whole career. He's thrown a lot of innings. He has nothing to worry about.
Curveball hit out to right field. Marlon Byrd heading back. It's over his head, and he stumbles as the ball goes to the wall. I wonder if Marlon hurt himself. He's limping around a little bit as Solano pulls into second with a 1-out double. Marlon seems to be okay at the moment. I think his spike got caught in the turf. No, he just stumbled.
He caught it, turned around, he kind of tippy-toed it right there and caught it. But his initial break right there, he came in just a little bit. And we've seen that 3 times so far in the first 2 games here.
Well, now a runner in scoring position. Here's Casey McGee. McGee hitting .287, 4 homers. He picked up his 71st RBI last night with a sacrifice fly. Back toward the middle. Galvis ranges toward the bag. He'll get McGee at first. Over to third goes Solano. We talk about Kyle Kendrick's pending free agency, and that's part of the topic for our Geico quote of the day. He said, I'll take in free agency after the season and see what happens. This is obviously my first choice. I love it here. I know the fans get mad at me. I understand that. I'm used to it. But this is the only place I've played, so we'll see what happens. He is used to it, and he'll be the first to admit it that he does hear it. Ford takes outside. It's 1-0.
Mad or frustrated? Mad.
I think combination of both.
But it doesn't matter where you play. You're going to have fans that get angry at you, get mad at you. Heck, you might have your own teammates get mad at you throughout the year.
To the right side, Utley will charge, and he throws Bohr out. So the 1-out double doesn't bother Kendrick. He gets 3 ground ball outs, and we'll go to the second here in South Florida. The Atlanta Braves come to town Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday's ball game 1:35. That's Fan Appreciation Day at Citizens Bank Park. Tickets can be purchased for all 3 games between the Phillies and the Braves by going to Phillies.com. Cole Hamels will make the start on Sunday. Ryan Sandberg confirmed that yesterday. Then he will go after his 10th win of the season, trying to get over the 200 inning mark. We start the second. Ryan Howard is the batter. He takes a strike. It's 0-1. Howard 0 for 4 last night. Picked up a strikeout. Ryan and Marlon Byrd are 1-2 now in strikeouts in the National League. They've been in the top 10 for most of the year. Marlon was actually past Ryan at one point. A little low, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
There's a lot of stats that you want to do to lead baseball. That's not one of them or 2 of them.
I think part of it too is if and I think Ryan will be the first to tell you this, if his other numbers were up, I mean, he has 93 RBIs, but if he was up over 100 RBIs and up over 30 home runs, it wouldn't be spotlighted as much. I mean, Marlon's having a solid year.
Correct.
Even with all the strikeouts. Marlon hitting .264, 25 home runs, 83 runs batted in. His average is at .210 here in the month of September, as you see at the bottom. Back toward the middle. Echeverria, diving stop from his heels. He throws over to first, and Byrd will beat that one out. It's the first hit of the night for the Phils. Pretty good effort by Echeverria.
We're talking about the amount of range he has at shortstop, and he showed it right there, making a nice play up the middle. And it seems like whenever a ball is hit on the infield here, it picks up speed. And as you can see right here, he makes a very nice play behind him, turn and throws right there, and no chance, but still a nice play.
Yeah, I think the old ballpark was that way too. Now at this point in the year, it would be a little choppier because the Dolphins would have played a few preseason games and their game against the Chiefs on it. They've done a very nice job with this playing surface here in 2014. Actually, over the last couple of years, after they kind of figured some things out. No balls, 1 strike to Darren Ruff with 1 away here in the top of the second. And Ruff fouls it away.
Well, we were talking about strikeouts, and you go in the offseason thinking, okay, what could I have worked on better? Think about maybe taking 10 strikeouts per month. There's 50, 60 at bats you're going to have where you're going to end up driving more runs in. You might strike, you might hit some fly balls or ground balls, but still putting the ball in play, you have a better chance, right?
Absolutely.
I know that's Captain Obvious right there, but you cut off just a little bit each month for strikeouts, and your power numbers are going to go up. Your RBIs are going to go up. Your average is going to be better.
Well, see, 10 strikeouts a month, I think, seems to be a lot for both Marlon and Ryan. How do they do that?
Well, I think, with Marlon, I mean, Marlon's a very aggressive hitter.
That one's pulled down the left field line, heading to the corner. Marlon on his way to third. He might be waved home. Pete's going to wave him home. Yelich has got it. He throws to Echeverria. His throw to the plate is in time. Gave him a clear path. Swiped the tag. Ryan Sandberg's going to come out, I believe, as Larry Boa goes to the phone. Tremendous exchange with Yelich and Echeverria to get Marlon Byrd at home plate.
Yeah, it was, and Marlon came around second base and stumbled just a little bit. It's kind of threw his timing off coming around, but like you said, I mean, that's a perfect execution of hitting your cutoff man. Now all of a sudden your outfield job's done. Strong throw home.
Well, everything was done properly. The tag was made on the inside, and Marlon's foot was up above the plate, so that's why he was able to be tagged out. Boy, that was textbook, though. That's exactly the way you're supposed to do that relay, from Yelich to Echeverria to Mathis. There are 2 outs with a runner at third, and Will Nieves will be the batter. So a double for Ruff, and he goes to third on the throw.
Well, and get back to with the strikeouts. Marlon Byrd's an aggressive swinger. Try to maybe lower his strike zone a little bit. Start concentrating on hitting the ball down in the zone instead of the fastball belt high. Ryan Howard, slow your body down. Knowing that you have the power, knowing that they're going to use your aggressiveness in the batter's box, they're going to throw pitches out of the strike zone so they know you go after them. Well, now you start zoning in on a certain area until you have 2 strikes. He'll be ahead in the count and he'll get a curveball in the dirt sometimes. He'll take a big swing at it where he's anticipating a fastball coming. See the ball first. Trust your hands.
To the left side, picked up by Echeverria, who flips on the run. Phillies are retired, no runs, 2 hits, 1 man left. Some solid defense here by Yelich and Echeverria, combining forces to get the throw to Mathis and then get Marlon Byrd. Eagles defense can slow down Colin Kaepernick and the 49ers offense. Watch Philly Sports Talk presented by Comcast Business tomorrow night at 5 on Comcast Sportsnet. Well, the roof is open. It's only the 2nd time the Phillies have played a game here at Marlins Park with the roof open. They played a game last year with the roof open. The next day, the roof was closed and the panels were open out in the outfield. But the Marlins, since this is their last night game before they go on the road to Washington after tomorrow afternoon's ball game, felt like this was the right time to open up the roof.
I wonder with the roof open and the panels open if the ball carries different.
Well, the last time, okay, I got something for you here. Last time they played a game with the roof open here was back on the 23rd of May against Milwaukee. Now it's only 1 game, but there were 7 home runs hit.
But no, the last time the roof was open,
23rd of May. This isn't like Canada, Matt. It gets hot here in the summer. So 7 home runs.
7.
0-1 pitch to Garrett Jones. 2-seamer in there. It's 0-2. Garrett Jones did not play last night. 15 home runs, 52 runs batted in. He's the home run king right now for the Marlins, with Giancarlo Stanton being out, at least in the lineup tonight. That one's floated out toward left center field. Long run for Revere. He gets there and he makes the catch. Echeverria is coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph?
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Well, we're talking about this final start this season for Kyle Kendrick, and whether or not it will be a final start in a Phillies uniform, that remains to be seen. But we all had an interesting conversation on the bus ride over to the ballpark today, kind of put in perspective where Kyle Kendrick sits. And if you look at these numbers, now this is since his debut in 2007, Kyle Kendrick ranks 13th in all of baseball when it comes to wins for starting pitchers. 13th for guys that have had 100+ starts or more. You take a look at that, that's pretty high. I think we were all a little bit surprised at just how high he ranked on that list. And now you can do the flip side and look at it the other way and look at his 68 losses. That ranks 10th in Major League Baseball in that time period. So 13 most wins, but 10th most losses as well. What does that tell you? Well, first and foremost, it tells you that he's been a pretty durable guy for the Phillies, a guy that takes the ball almost every time that he can. So that's certainly a good thing for a guy in the back end of your rotation. You already mentioned it, Tom, about closing in on 200 innings. That's a significant number for a starter. So, it remains to be seen what his legacy will be as a Philly. But when you look at those numbers, it does kind of tell you that over the course of the years, he's been a pretty solid guy in that rotation for the Phils.
Yeah, as we mentioned during the Open, he did miss a year when he was sent back down to the minor leagues also. Well, and everybody knows that we like him personally.
Yeah.
He's one of the best people going. His family, they raised him right. We got to know his dad over the years. His dad's a great guy. Obviously, his wife, Stephanie. We saw his 2 kids during the Open as well. So we'll see. As he said, he's keeping the door open. And Ryan Sandberg even said today, he said, listen, we need pitching moving forward. We don't have a whole lot of depth right now. He said, so I wouldn't rule him out as far as possibly coming back in 2015. 2 balls and 1 strike to Kike Hernandez. Hernandez, .317 hitter down in AAA, acquired by the Marlins from the Houston Astros. Was 0 for 2 last night with a walk. Fly ball, shallow center field. Ben Revere comes winding in, and a 1-2-3 inning for Kendrick. Couple fly ball outs, 1 ground ball out. So we're through our first 2 here in Miami. Kendrick will be up second when we return for the top of the 3rd. Go to the fans section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Matt, here's the question. Who holds the record for most pinch hits in Marlins franchise history? The answer will be revealed in just a little bit. Now you do know it's not you, right?
For the Marlins?
Yeah.
History.
Freddie Galvis leads it off. Galvis was 1 for 3 last night. He's hit in 7 consecutive games. See what he's done over his last 9. His 2 hits and 5 at bats against Brad Hand. Phillies last night were 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. During the outset of tonight's game, we talked about their offensive struggles, how their on-base percentage is just a hair over 3 for the season. As Galvis bunts, gets it to the grass, but Mathis got out quick. All right, Freddie Galvis is saying that something happened on that. Did he say that he bunted that ball off his arm?
Yeah, he was saying as the ball hit the dirt and came up and hit him in the forearm.
Oh, Ryan Sandberg out to talk to Larry Vanover. He's had a couple conversations tonight with the umpires. Doesn't look like it hit anybody.
It didn't.
I'm not sure what he's pointing to his arm. I don't know what he's saying hit his arm.
Well, that's not reviewable. We've seen it. We saw it earlier in the season with a foul ball for a base hit.
Puig. Yeah. Well, it's time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag #PhillyFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown at an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Yeah, the only thing that's reviewable around home plate really is whether a batter is hit by a pitch or not. But even if that ball did hit Galvis and the replay showed that it didn't, there's no way that they could ask for a review. They can ask for help.
Right.
But Larry Vanover seemed to be pretty clear. Now we're just assuming that's what they were discussing because Galvis was pointing to his arm. Kendrick rips one to left field. Yelich will cut it off on one hop. And Kyle's aboard. And that's the 3rd hit of the night for the Phils. And back to the top of the order for Ben Revere.
Nice swing right there by KK. I think whenever a pitcher pulls a ball for a base hit, they're lucky. Because they're really cheap to get that barrel out.
I guess there's certain pitchers, like Hand is one of those guys where I would think you can cheat a little bit more as a right-handed batter if you're Kendrick. At the knees to Revere. It's 0-1. Hand as a starter this year is 3-8 with an ERA of over 4. He's made 16 relief appearances. Does not have a decision in any of those relief appearances. He did miss time. Kind of ironic. He missed basically the same period of time this year as he missed last year on the disabled list. Last year it was an oblique. This year it was a sprained right ankle. Same time period though. End of May, beginning of July.
Really?
Yeah, a little more than a month. In the dirt, Mathis blocks it, 1-2.
So with that stump question earlier.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Do you have the number?
I do.
Of hits?
Yeah,
was
I do.
Was it 30?
No, it's more than that.
50s?
It was in the 50s. Over to first, a foul ball. I will tell you, I'll give you one hint right now. This player was also a member of the Philadelphia Phillies. Did I just give it away?
Pretty good left-handed hitter.
All right. You can go with that if you want.
Might have been a member for the Seattle Mariners, too.
One ball, 2 strikes to Revere. Inside, 2-2.
Even before you gave me that hint, that's who I was going to go with. Now, it might be wrong. But I figured he played here almost 3 years.
Yeah. That's not a bad guess on your part.
No. So I'll stay with that name.
Opposite way out of play. Remains 2-2. Yeah, because the next hint I was going to give you is that he did play some third base for the Phillies.
A little bit of left field.
Played a little first base for the Phillies.
Had a very nice swing.
Over to first. They get one at first. They get two on the exchange at seconds. Kendrick ran back to the first base bag. He didn't realize there was a force play out at second because he didn't step on the first base bag first. You can't go wrong when you buy right. Buy AT&T, mobilizing your world. And buy Delaware Valley Honda. Visit your local Delaware Valley Honda dealer or shophonda.com. No scores. We go to the bottom of the third. All right, Matt, tell us about this last play in which Kyle Kendrick made an about face right back to the first base bag.
Well, he made the right play. I mean, the ball's coming off the base, and anytime a ball's hit the first base, you know, he's not coming off very hard. A lot of first basemen will go back, tag first base, turn and throw to second, and they'll tag. Kendrick's not going to beat the play at second base. So he's just trying to roll the dice, hopefully, that he comes back and tags the base. Didn't work out, so that's the proper base running right there.
All right, so if he would have touched first, then they would have had to tag Kendrick, and he was already back to the first base bag.
Correct.
So here's Jeff Mathis to lead it off here in the bottom of the third. Mathis takes a pitch outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Mathis hitting just 200, 2 home runs, 12 RBIs. Over to Ryan Howard, and he'll take it to the bag. 1 out here in the third. And that'll bring Brad Hand to the plate. Phillies, of course, have no opportunity to finish at the 500 mark here in 2014. In fact, second half of the season, there was a point where the Phillies had the second best record, along with the New York Mets in the National League East since the All-Star break. That's kind of changed a little bit. The Nationals are at 41-22 in the second half. That's why they've run away with this division. And then tied for second best records since the All-Star break are the Marlins and the Mets. at 31-31. Phillies are 29-33. And then the Atlanta Braves 24-38 since the All-Star break. On the inside corner, 1-2. Because of that, Frank Wren, the general manager, lost his job after 15 years in the Braves organization. 7 years as their GM. And a called strike 3. So Kendrick picks up his first strikeout. And then how about this? The Phillies are sitting in last place, 21.5 games out behind the Nationals. The Nationals are the only team in the National League East that are above the 500 mark. And for the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Braves and the New York Mets, they're not going to be able to get to the 500 mark. Last time only one team finished above 500 was 95 when the Braves were 90-54. Now that was a shortened season because of the carryover of the strike. And then if you go on to that box that we just showed you, and we'll put it up again just to let you read some of the other stuff. There's never been a season in which all National League East teams finished with a that finished with a winning record. Now in 2005, one of them was at the 500 mark. 2005, the Washington Nationals were 81-81. That was the closest the East got, having all 5 teams, and you could even broaden it back when there were, the divisions were a little different. All 5 teams at above the 500 mark.
Well, and when you were telling that stat on the bus coming to the ballpark today, I was shocked. I really was, and maybe it's because I've been up doing the golf tournament, but
the ball's hit well out toward left. Ruff's not going to get there, and Yelich is on the run out towards second. So he'll pull him to second base with a second double of the night. Well, the reason we bring that up is because the last couple of years at the beginning of the season, and maybe because we're in this division, people have asked, okay, who will win the division, and do you think the National League East will have a wild card representative? I've always said yes.
Right.
I said at the beginning of this year that I thought the Braves and the Nationals would win the division, and the Braves and the Nationals would be one of the wild card representatives. Same thing last year. I thought maybe 2 teams from the East could get to 3 teams, I should say, 2 from the wild card.
Right.
But to see 4 teams finish under 500 in the National League East.
Well, you would never think it would happen, especially with the offense in the division, with all the pitching they have. Atlanta Braves have had a lot of injuries. But I never thought that the Atlanta Braves would fall off as bad as they have.
No.
Especially the way they started the season off. We knew they weren't going to keep going that strong, but.
Donovan Solano's the batter. The count is no balls and 1 strike to Solano. Now, can the Braves and the Mets win 5 in a row? I guess they can. It's unlikely that they'll finish at 81-81. Can the Marlins win 6 in a row? I guess they could. They can win the last 2 here and 4 in Washington, but they'll be hard pressed to do that. So it looks like only the Nationals will finish above 500 in the National League East this year. Chopper back to the mound. Kendrick's done a nice job with runners in scoring position. Marlins are now 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position, or excuse me, 0 for 3 and 1 for 8 in this series. Open to the public. For years, businesses have been taking advantage of W. Mason's overstock. Now you can too. Visit whatabargain.com. Franco hits one down the right field line. He'll settle for a leadoff single here in the fourth. He had been 1 for his last 14. You like that swing better?
And I do. And we talked about it earlier. It was one of the keys is for him to stay on that pitch away. To me, it just seems like he's been coming out of the zone, and there, everything stayed compact. His shoulder stayed in. His upper body was out over home plate. And earlier this season, since he's been called up in September, he said a lot of ground balls to the pitcher, a lot of weak ground balls to third, because his first move is away from home plate. That there, now all of a sudden he's going to back it up a little bit more. He's going to driving the ball to the ballpark for power. That's what your setup is when you take a swing, or when you set up to start with, your chest has to be out over home plate. When you finish, of course, you have to have the great bounce, but your body still has to be out over home plate with your swing instead of pulling off.
2 balls and no strikes to Chase Utley. Utley grounded out to first, his first time up.
Now that's what we talked about in the open. Was you get in the hitter's count 2-0, be patient, look for your area. Chase, that's not his pitch. That's not his strength. That's the problem they've had this year, is taking their being aggressive in the wrong area or the wrong area of the plate.
All right, so now this is a time where he could be aggressive in an area. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Correct. You look into whatever your strength is. All right, Chase Utley's a pull hitter. He likes the fastball inside. You have to look for that area. If it's not there, let it go. And and feel like you can hit with 2 strikes.
3-1 pitch to Chase. Outside, ball 4. That'll put runners on first and second. First walk issued by hand. So Utley is aboard. First walk of the night for the Phils, and the Phillies are walking in Independence Blue Cross. Wants to remind you to get active and get walking too. Independence Blue Cross, live fearless.
Now I will make a point about a 3-1 pitch. I know you're looking for an area where you want to drive the ball. Now if Franco is going to run, you have to protect a little bit. So if it's a fastball away, yeah, you still have to try to drive the ball. You don't look for that one area to square it up. So you kind of do a running hit, but you still don't want to go out of your strike zone too much.
Here's Howard. Howard grounded out his first time up. Outside, 1-0. RBI situation for Ryan Howard. The Phillies had 1 runner in scoring position. That was in the second when Darren Ruff was over third base with 2 outs, and Will Nieves grounded out. Softly to the right side. This will get the runners over. The only play is to first. 3-1 on the putout. The most popular way to follow the September pennant races is with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, live radio broadcasts, the MLB.TV game of the day, and more. Get At Bat for your smartphone or tablet on the App Store. Visit MLB.com. Last night, if you had that, you get updates on the Giants-Dodgers game, which was rather entertaining. Dodgers jumped out to a 3-0 lead, and then Madison Bumgarner hit a home run, made it 3-2. And then Justin Turner hit his second home run of the game to help the Dodgers to the victory. Bumgarner and Yasiel Puig got into a little bit of a shouting match before that home run. Bird fouls it back. Bumgarner hit Puig in the foot with a slider. Puig didn't like it. He said something. Bumgarner didn't like the fact that he said something. So Matt Kemp came running out and stopped Puig from doing anything dumb. Bumgarner had already thrown his glove down at that point. 0-1 to Marlon Byrd. Inside 1-1. Second time this year that those two guys have gotten into a little bit of a shouting match.
From a slider in the foot. Interesting.
One thing that watching last night's game, though, kind of spotlighted was the kind of year Matt Kemp's had.
Yes.
Considering the time he missed at the beginning of the year when he really wasn't playing.
Well, when we saw him early in the season, he could barely jog. Every time he took a swing, kind of looked like Ben Revere. You know, the pain after the swing. He's turned around, had a very good year. Over 20 home runs again.
It could be the comeback player of the year.
Yep. I thought we were giving that to Casey McGee.
Well, we were until the All-Star break. 2-1 to Marlon Byrd. Runners lead off second and third here in the top of the fourth.
Last pitch is that big curveball that Hand has, and throws it 32% of the time, and the league's only hitting 179 versus this curveball.
That one's pulled toward third. McGee's got it. Steps on the third base bag, and Franco is doubled up. They may ask the defense to hold. Nope, they're not going to. It is a double play. The side is retired. No runs, one hit, and one man lift. Take a look. Casey McGee was running before he grabbed it, and he did indeed get to that third base bag ahead of Franco's hands. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. By Budweiser, here's to Budweiser, here's to baseball. And by Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF now for an appointment. Scoreless ball game, bottom of the fourth inning. All right, so two double plays have really helped the Marlins' cause in this game so far, Matt.
Yeah, and right here, this is a situation here. Whenever there's a man on third base and you want to stay the same distance as the third baseman is off the base. So if you get a little farther, that's what happens. Franco was a little farther down the line. So if McGee is 2 or 3 steps off third base, you take 2 or 3 steps down the line. That way, the double play. And I mean, he did everything right. He froze.
Yep.
He went back to third base. He was just down the line, just a little too far. Perfect. It was great base running. Just a little aggressive on the lead.
Well, here is McGee to lead it off. And he cracks it towards short. Big hop for Freddie Galvis. And there's one out. And Justin Bour's coming up. Yeah, I think there's always this fine line because, you know, people that are leading off third are taught secondary lead, you know, in case there's a ball in the dirt.
Right.
So his secondary lead took him farther away from the bag than McGee was playing defensively. Plus, everything worked out perfectly for McGee.
Yeah, because it was a little hook line drive down the line. And, you know, so if McGee's 15 feet off, you start at 10, your secondary lead will get you down to 15 feet. I mean, it was good base running. Just bad luck.
Here's Justin Bour, who grounded out his first time up. Takes a strike. It's 0-1. Here's to Budweiser.
Here's the baseball.
Very nice, Matt. That's teamwork. There was only a third phrase, then we could get Murph involved in it. 1 ball, 1 strike to Bour. Ryan Howard over at the first base bag. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. And Garrett Jones is coming up.
Well, so far in this game, 8 ground ball outs. He has very good control with the sinker, late movement with the sinker. And we talked about it early in the season that his sinker was more of a runner. Now it's getting back to that true sink and the late movement.
Well, all year long, the big storyline for Kyle has been his struggles in the first inning. 30 earned runs allowed in the first inning of games. This is now 5 straight starts where he did not allow a run in the first. ERA here in the month of September, 3.20 coming in.
I've noticed he's throwing more cutters. He's throwing more front door sinkers. Hitters now starting to think, the left-handed hitters especially, are starting to think, I have to cheat. Now you can throw that changeup away.
Nice play by Ryan Howard. Boy, look how quick he spun around and got to his feet. And 3 straight ground outs. And Kendrick has a 1-2-3 4th inning. So quickly, 4 in the books here in Miami. On to the 5th. Darren Ruff will lead it off. Check in with Greg Murphy. Murph?
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. Well, this is something that the Phillies started last year. They've asked fans to post their pictures showing their Phillies enthusiasm on Instagram. And that contest starts today. And this morning, over 2,000 fans posted pictures on Instagram. And we've got a couple to show you. And tonight's winner as well. First one looks like this. It's a youngster enjoying his maybe first game at baseball with mom and dad. And then a Fanatic wedding. You got the fun glasses right there, part of the wedding picture. So that one is terrific, showing a lot of enthusiasm there. 2 young Two young fans taking in the ballpark right there, so enjoying their night at Citizens Bank Park. How about some Utley fans showing off their T-shirts and their Utley pride? And there's the youngster enjoying his first game with mom and dad. But today's winner comes from Robert Burgess, and here he is. He is a young fan enjoying some tastes and sounds of Citizens Bank Park, and I think you have the Fanatic Oyo right there as well. The winner is going to get 2015 Phillies home game tickets, 4 of them, so 4 tickets coming your way. You'll have another chance tomorrow to post a picture on Instagram showing your Phillies passion. Use the hashtag THXFans, PHANS, thanks fans, for your chance to win 2015 Phillies tickets. So another chance tomorrow, guys.
Well, it's great. I love the Utley photo, sort of passing on the love of a certain player from mom to I guess son, maybe daughter, but passing on that love for a particular player. The photo with the Oyo was perfectly put together. Well, last year we enjoyed all those pictures, and we've enjoyed each of the photos that have been sent in during the course of the season. We have a separate promotion which we've been running during the course of the game, the AT&T fan photo of the game, and this is sort of an extension of that. Pretty neat. And as Murph said, we'll see some more as these last few games wind down. As Darren Rupp is retired and a ground out to second, 1 away. Brad Hand is matching Kyle Kendrick basically pitch for pitch here tonight. Well, Nieves grounded out to shortstop his first time up, so he's 0 for 1.
Well, like you said, with Kendrick getting the lot of ground balls, Hand as well, 9 putouts on the ground. Mostly coming off the fastball.
Yeah, and the double plays, the 2 double plays have really helped Hand. I think that one got a piece of Nieves. Yep, he's hit by a pitch. That's only the second batter that Hand is hit by a pitch this year. So Nieves is aboard. And now Freddie Galvis is coming up. Off the outside corner, 1-1. Kind of get the impression, and something could change pretty quickly, but I'm getting the impression, I don't know about you, Matt, that Jimmy Rollins may not play the rest of the year. Maybe play 1 game in Philadelphia, but there's a pretty good chance he doesn't play the rest of the season.
I would tend to agree with you. I think you'll see him in Philadelphia, possibly to pinch hit.
I was thinking that, you know, he worked out yesterday. Ryan Sandberg said everything went okay. He's working out again today. I just think that they're leery of having him injured going into the offseason. Now, there's plenty of time to get himself healthy in the offseason, but they don't want to hamper him at all. They want him to be healthy in 2015. Fly ball to center. 2 outs. Kendrick coming up. And the A's back to first. Kendrick singled his last time up. Takes a strike, and it's 0-1. 0-2.
KK's just waiting for that mistake. Pitch the fastball inside so we can drive to left field again.
Throwing up something soft again. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It's a good take right there from KK.
Outside, 2-2. Well, he hasn't bit so far.
He's looking very hitterish.
Well, that swing he took his first time up. It's a pretty nice stroke. This one the opposite way, and that's going to drop for a base hit. So Jones will get to it. And the A base on his way to third, and Kyle Kendrick is 2 for 2. Oh, here we go. Another opportunity with a runner in scoring position. And Revere, the leader in singles in the National League. This is part of our Mazda leaders. Casey McGee is second with D. Gordon. Bernard Spando hurt himself last night in the Nationals victory. He has 129. Then Daniel Murphy with 123. Revere is first in singles. He's second in hits overall behind Span. Single would do the job right here.
I was watching Ben take batting practice today, and a couple of times I saw him do a couple drag bunts towards second base. I'm like, okay, that's just straight eye wash because he never does it in the game. But I wish you would. Now, you talk about when you go in the offseason what you like to do, cut down on strikeouts. I think he should come back next year and really concentrate on laying some bunts down.
Takes a strike, and it's 2-1. Oh, it would add to his repertoire. I mean, it really would. They play in anyway most times against him, but they would play in even more.
Right.
I mean, nobody played it as far in as Pablo Sandoval did this year.
Right. From
the Giants with Revere up, but everybody else would start sliding in even more. Outside, 3-1.
And he doesn't even have to lay a bunt down. If he's going to just fake bunt and bring McGee in about 5 or 6 steps from third base. Now that he hits so many baseballs to left field, these balls here are going to go by him like a missile. So that's the reason why you want to fake bunt. Your second baseman's going to move in. Now his range is cut down left and right. McGee's range is cut down left and right. Just opens up a lot more holes.
Inside, ball 4. That'll load up the bases. All right, so Franco will get a chance with the bases loaded here in the 5th inning. Phillies have threatened a couple times tonight. Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Tigers defeated the White Sox 6-1. This was a very good game through the first 4 or 5 innings. Ian Kinsler double 2 RBIs. The Tigers pulled one out last night after David Price had a 3-0 lead in the 9th. He blew that, but they came and pulled it out. Meanwhile, the Royals are trailing the Indians 3-0. Kansas City has won 3 straight games. Kansas City is a game behind Detroit in the National or American League Central. Franco takes a strike. One pitch to Franco. Little dribbler foul. It's 0-2. Now for the Royals game, they lost on Monday to the Indians, but that was the completed game from earlier in the season. So the win streak that they're currently in, that game is not part of it.
Right.
So that's why they've won 3 straight, counting what they did at the end of the weekend. Yeah, Detroit's lead is a game and a half. Correct myself on that because they've already won. And Kansas City's still playing. No balls and 2 strikes to Franco. Outside 1-2.
Which that Detroit game got kind of ugly. Benches clear today.
It did, yeah.
Sales was saying that somebody had binoculars and was relaying a sign somewhere to the hitter. Like that was the big thing, was that whenever they got a hit, like Ian Kinsler got that big double, he was at second base doing the old binocular. That was a salute. Like it was amazing what they were all arguing about, and he did it twice, and then all of a sudden Victor Martinez got smoked.
One ball, 2 strikes, bases loaded, 2 outs here in the 5th. Chopper foul. It remains 1-2. What were they saying the binoculars were? Out in the outfield somewhere? Out in center field?
Say they're coming from right field.
Huh. Somebody just acting as a fan or something?
I don't know.
One-two pitch to Franco. He pops it foul over the Phillies dugout. It's out of play. Kansas City can pull out that game against the Indians. They'll move a step closer to earning a postseason berth. Again, the 1-2 pitch. And a call, strike 3. Franco takes one right down the chute. And Hand picks up a big strikeout with the bases loaded here in the 5th. Phillies leave them loaded. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning here in Miami. $6 million people in the greater Philadelphia region. There's ample opportunity to help. Build houses, volunteer, or be a mentor. Visit citizensbank.com/community to learn more. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal. And that's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank, good banking is good citizenship. Along with Matt Stairs and Greg Murphy, I'm Tom McCarthy. Kyle Kendrick going to the bottom of the 5th inning. He's allowed 2 hits so far. He has 9 ground ball outs in this game. And he'll face Danny Echeverria, Kike Hernandez, then Jeff Mathis. All right, Matt, here we go. It's time for the Jeep Stuff the Fans Trivia Quiz answer. Who holds the record for most pinch hits in Marlins franchise history?
Greg Dobbs.
Greg Dobbs is incorrect.
Jeff Conine.
Jeff Conine's incorrect.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's go another inning. Give me another inning to think. Polanco? No.
No, Polanco was only here for a year. Played for the Phillies. Played for the Marlins twice. Finished his career with the Marlins. Played for the Braves.
I'm stumped.
Here you go. Wes Helms with 56. Echeverria bunts in front of the plate, and the A-base has it. Man, another ground ball out. Yeah, there's one away here in the 5th. It's funny how everything was coinciding. It could have been either Dobbs or Helms. Either way, with everything you were saying.
Yeah, but you didn't bite when I said left field, though.
I didn't.
I should have went a little farther.
Excellent point on your part. I didn't.
I should have went a little farther and said lefty or right-handed hitter.
Yeah, I consciously did not bite when you said left field. Here's Hernandez. And he takes a strike. Now, I mean, Helms could have played a little left field. I don't remember.
He is. But I would never answer. I mean, I was stuck on Dauber.
Oh, 1 pitch to Hernandez, who flied to center his first time up, and that's in there for a strike. It's 0-2.
I even got the double buzzard from the.
Yeah, well, you gave two wrong answers. I think deep down they were hoping that you would throw another wrong answer out there.
Well, there was a good chance I was going to.
One-two pitch. And a foul ball at the plate, and it remains 1-2. Marcelo Zuna is the normal center fielder for the Marlins. Murph mentioned last night he's out with an injury. It's a high ankle sprain, and they may not see him again until 2015 rolls around. They have said that they think Stanton, and this may be the same thing with Ozuna, that they may go to instructional league before it's all done, just to get some at bats, to make sure that they're feeling okay, that they're swinging okay going into the off season. I would think that Mike Redmond, and it's only natural, there may be a little concern that Stanton's going to flinch a little bit because of, you know, the way that pitch came in.
Right.
Every player handles that differently.
Ground ball outs.
And the first 3-ball 2-strike count. Over to third. That's a fair ball down the left field line. Hernandez will get at least 2 out of this one. He may think about 3. Nope. Oh yeah, he is going to think about 3. Ruff had a little trouble getting out of the corner. It'll be a triple. First triple for Hernandez. Darren had a long way to go to get to that corner, and it seemed like it just died. There was a moment right at the second base bag where Hernandez was going to stop.
Yeah, he did have a long way to go, and right there he plays it right. Oh, you know what it was?
He bobbled it, yeah.
On the exchange right here. Plays it come off that little carom right there on the exchange. That's where he drops it. And allowed Hernandez to get to third base.
I still think Hernandez was thinking about going to third anyway because the ball didn't kick out.
Yeah.
All right, now Mathis is up. Infield is in. And he loops one to first, and Ryan Howard makes the catch.
Ball is not carrying to right field.
Sure isn't.
I thought they said the ball carries with the roof open.
All right, well, this ball carried. It's our Hyundai defensive play of the game. The only problem is it carried both ways, back to the plate, too, and this is why the game's still scoreless.
Yeah, and if you look at the textbook relay, I mean, perfect throw from Yelich to left field, strike the home plate, you know, given the area for the tag, and all in all, a very nice play, and that's why that's the defensive play of the game, brought to you by Hyundai.
Well, here's Hand, and a check swing off the front of the Marlins dugout. And it's 0-1. Kendrick trying to work out of this one. 1 out triple. The infield can settle back now with the exception of Franco at third. He's still back, but not back as far as everyone else. Over to Ryan Howard. Big hop for him, and Kendrick's going to get out of it. So Kyle's allowed 3 hits through 5 innings so far, and he's getting closer to the 200 inning mark. He needs 3 more. Phils need some offense, though. They're hoping that 2, 3, and 4, or 3, 4, and 5, I should say, will provide it when we get back. The ace of the staff started the season a few weeks late, but definitely made up for lost time in a hurry. He's been solid all season, and since the All-Star break, he's been as dominant as any starter in the game. He will definitely post the best ERA mark of his career and is just 3 1/3 innings shy of reaching his 6th 200-inning season. Cole's been fantastic, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Cole really has been fantastic. He'll get one more chance to get to 10 wins. He was last night after the ball game, people were asking about his earned run average, about his innings pitched, about his strikeouts. He said, well, yeah, he goes, those are the numbers of a guy that would probably have 17 or 18 wins. He said, but it's just the way the year has gone for the Phils, that he only has 9 wins, 9-7 or 9-8 now after last night's loss. 3 or fewer, 22 straight starts. Chase Utley will come up. Well, Felix Hernandez from the Mariners, even Steven Strasburg this year, but Hernandez from the Mariners, he knows full well what Hamels has gone through. You know, when Felix Hernandez won the Cy Young in 2010, he only had 13 wins. ERA of 2.27. One ball, no strikes to Chase Utley. There you see the issues for the Phils in the middle of the order, struggling right now in this series. It's really been the case for a lot of this year, but particularly since I would say about the 15th of August or so, 10th of August. Phillies had a run where they were playing well. That's a heck of a play by Bohr at first. A ball that was hit right on the nose by Chase Utley. 1 out here in the 6th.
Chase squares this up very nice, but Moore takes that one step and dive and makes a fine play at first base.
And that'll bring Ryan Howard to the plate for the third time. I think this is what you were talking about before, Matt. Not necessarily in the hitter's count, but just recognizing what the pitch is out of the pitcher's hand.
It's almost the point where it doesn't seem like he trusts his hands. He thinks he has to cheat to get the pitches, and that's the reason why he's committing so early. And realizing that if he trusts his hands, he lets the ball get deep in the zone. That's why he drives the ball so well to left center. He doesn't have to cheat.
Back toward the mound under the glove of hand, but Echeverria is there. Howard doing everything he can to get up that line, but 6-3 on the put out. 2 outs. And here's Marlon Byrd. All right, so you say trust his hands. Is that mental or physical or a combination of both?
Well, a combination of both. If you don't feel well some days when you step in the batter's box, you might feel sluggish, feel like your hands are dragging. So you decide that you're going to use more of your body to swing the bat. Where it happens. Everyone goes through it. But you try to make the adjustment. You try to go with a wider stance, and it slows your whole body down. It lets you recognize the pitch a little longer. And that's what it seems like right now, is that he's not recognizing the pitch out of the hand, or he's anticipating the wrong pitch instead of sitting fastball, and that's what his strength is.
0-1 pitch coming to Marlon Byrd. A little low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And not just with Ryan Howard, with a lot of hitters, especially left-handed hitters, when they swing with the body too much. The ideal swing is the balance stays back, and when you hit that ball, you have a little step back in your stance. Well, if you watch Ryan or a lot of left-handed hitters that swing with too much body, their back leg swings across and lands on home plate. So it means that they're using their whole upper body when they swing. The momentum's going through the zone. The bat's going through the zone too quick, and that's why you continue spinning and landing on home plate. Does that make sense?
Well, it does, and I just wonder how you fix it. That's the next step, Matt, and what you're going to teach us is how to fix that.
A lot of tee work, a lot of low tee work, a low and away.
Chopper to shortstop. Going to be another easy inning for Hand as long as Echeverria makes this throw, which he does. 1-2-3 inning for the Marlins left-hander. We're humming along. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Still scoreless. Top of the order's due up for the Marlins. McDonald's. Any size hot or iced coffee is just $1. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. Bottom of the 6th inning, still 0-0. The Phillies and the Marlins, game 2 of this series. During the 2014 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Turkey Hill, one of many sponsors who have been such great partners for the Phillies, not only this year, but also for many years. As the season winds down again, we thank all of the sponsors for everything that they've done, both on the field and in the community. As Yelich takes a strike, it's 0-1. Yelich doubled his last time up. One of the other Phillies sponsors, Goya, is having a great promotion this weekend when the Phillies take on the Braves on Saturday night. Check out Phillies.com for how you can help fill abundance and what Goya is doing to help those in need in the Philadelphia area through their work with Phil Abundance. Outside, 2-1. It's all part of Latino family celebration at the ballpark. 7:05 first pitch. Goya Food Products will be sponsoring a food drive that will benefit Phil Abundance, helping their effort to help families in need within the Latino community. Goya Foods is once again pledged to donate a minimum of 5,000 pounds of food to match the collected food products. 2-2 to Yelich. Opposite way. Well, here's Donovan Solano. Kyle will never, I shouldn't say never, but the odds are he'll never reach 200 strikeouts in a season. The fact, though, that he's inching closer to 200 innings says an awful lot about him. That one's back toward the middle on one hop to Utley. 2 outs. Matt, are we missing something? Is there something going on that we have to get to at the end of this game or something? I mean, these guys are swinging early, aren't they?
Well, they are. It's called, 4 games left after this one?
Well, but you brought up a point, and I am in total agreement of it. I mean, you don't want to give away at-bats at this point in the year. I know that your average, if you've had 500 ABs or plate appearances, or Casey McGee's case, 600 plate appearances, your average isn't going to creep up or down too much. But it may. One ball, no strikes to McGee.
For some reason, you see that just prior to the All-Star break and to when the season's finishing. Or the last game of spring training, of course.
Yeah.
Great location with that backdoor sinker.
And a line drive base hit it to center field. That may be one of the first sinkers with 2 strikes that he left up in the zone. If it's not the first, it's only the second.
Right. Yeah, it's really maybe the second time he's missed his location.
Yeah.
He wanted that same pitch, that backdoor sinker. That's all right. Nothing wrong with a single. Especially when you miss inner half.
Just off the outside corner to Bohr. It's 1 ball and no strikes. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. Once to second, the other time to first. At least trying to cut off that hole on the right side in shallow right field.
So that was the pitch right there. As a hitter, you're anticipating a fastball because it's 1 ball, no strikes. So I'm going to gear up for the fastball. Then you get the old Bugs Bunny changeup with a curveball and take an awkward swing.
Throws another changeup. That one's in the dirt, though. It's 2-1.
Now this is where you try to make the adjustment. 2-1 pitch. Now you're saying to yourself, okay, back it up a little bit. What I mean by is let the ball get deeper. Recognize the pitch and then react instead of anticipating the fastball coming. Man, I wish I said this when I played.
Well, they always say the game's a lot easier up here.
That it is.
Outside, 3-1. Derek Jones is on deck. Is going to bring the ball out toward Kendrick. Will has done a lot of the catching while Kendrick's on the mound recently. Tomorrow night at 6, Derek and Ruben will discuss how the Eagles' revamped offensive line will hold up against the Niners' front 7. Don't miss Quick Slants, presented by Nissan, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Will be off to count 3-2. He goes. And a high fly ball. Center field, playable for Revere. Dancing around, puts it away. And Kendrick is through 6 innings. 66 pitches, 6 innings of work. He's done a heck of a job so far. We'll go to the 7th. team summary. Nothing a whole lot to report right now offensively. 9 hits combined. We'll go to the top of the 7th inning. Phillies have had some chances. They've hit into 2 double plays. 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. The Marlins 0 for 5 with runners in scoring positions. The Phillies middle of the order is where the struggles have been during this series so far. They've been held scoreless for the 15 innings they've played in this series. So now as we go to the top of the 7th, Brad Hand, who you see down there, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 walks, will face Darren Ruff, Will Nieves, and Freddie Galvis. Ruff is 1 for 2. Outside. Ruff doubled his first time up. His average of 242. Mentioned last week he is going to play winter ball.
Good. Dominican Republic.
Murph told the story last week that he kind of went to Phillies manager and said, I need some at-bats just to get himself ready for 2015, whatever role will be presented his way. Rio pitched to him, and there's ball 4. So he walked him on 4 pitches. Second walk issued. Should say third. Will Nieves is coming up. It's time for the Major League Notebook. Murph.
All right, Tom, thank you. It's brought to you by Gwinnett Mercy University and Toronto Blue Jays starter Mark Burley getting it done again. He tonight went 6.5 innings in his game, or he's through 6 innings, and that put him over the 200 inning mark for the 14th consecutive season. That ties him for 3rd all time with guys like Christy Mathewson, Phil Niekro, and Greg Maddox. The only guys in front of him, Gaylord Perry, Don Sutton, and Warren Spahn, who had 17 consecutive seasons of 200-plus innings, but that certainly puts him in good company. So Mark Burley continues to get the job done. And also reports out of Arizona as they are very close to hiring their new general manager, and that would be Dave Stewart. Of course, Stewart, a longtime pitcher in big league baseball. He's also been a coach. He was an assistant general manager with the Padres, and he also has been a sports agent. So kind of done a little bit of everything, but they are real close to signing him to be their new general manager. Of course, he has a relationship with Tony La Russa and from back in their Oakland days together. So a good fit perhaps in Arizona, but it looks like that's going to happen as early as Friday, guys. All right, Murph, we appreciate that. Yes, Stewart was trying to sell his agency a couple of months ago, and that was in preparation of somehow getting back into the game. Do you guys think he's going to be as intense a GM as he was as a player?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to change any.
Yeah.
At least you wouldn't hope.
0-1 to Nieves. Fouls it away. It's 0-2. Chris Hatcher starting to throw in the bullpen for the Marlins. Any thought about bunting here was probably diffused with Galvis and then Kendrick up after Will Nieves. And I say that because we're in the 7th inning and there hasn't been a whole lot of offense. Struck out. And he was obviously upset with himself. That'll bring Freddie Galvis to the plate. All right, Murph alluded to the 200 innings or more for Mark Burley. So there are the leaders. Warren Spahn, the great Warren Spahn, Gaylord Perry, Don Sutton, and then Burley tied with Phil Niekro and Greg Maddox. I was once on a bus with Warren Spahn and Tom Seaver going to the Hall of Fame.
Did you guys talk hockey?
You know, if I recall correctly, they were talking about hitting because Spahn was a good hitting pitcher.
Because that's what baseball's all about.
Talking about hitting. Hockey? Oh, okay. Well, they acknowledge that. You know, what struck me about Spahn, he wasn't a tall guy at all. All those good numbers, those good years that he had. Fly ball to right center field. Garrett Jones gave a peek over at Hernandez, but he makes the catch. 2 outs, and Kendrick coming up. Kyle Kendrick is 2 for 2 in this ball game. Kyle Kendrick is 3 for 3 in this ball game. Can it get to the track? It's going to be cut off. Ruff's going to be waved home, and he's going to score. It's an RBI double for Kyle Kendrick. He's 3 for 3, and the Phillies lead it 1-0. Well, this game of baseball is a crazy game. It's his first 3-hit game of his career. Wow. Break it down, Matt. Break it down.
Well, very nice swing. Little sniper got him coming out of the batter's box, but it did a nice job. He was aggressive, got a fastball, drove it to left field. The bobble might have helped a little bit in center field, but if it's going to be his last game that he pitches for the Phillies, well, keep it going.
His teammates liked it. He loves it. He's out at second base with a 1-0 lead. Then Revere takes low. 1 ball, no strikes.
Nobody told him to enjoy this start. That was one of the keys.
Darren Ruff's trying to catch his breath in the dugout right now. That's a long way to go for the big man. Pete McCann, I think, was waving him no matter what. Ball and 1 strike. See that hit right there by Kendrick would have made Warren Spahn and Tom Seaver proud as they were talking hitting. Revere is going to be thrown out by Casey McGee, but the Phillies are on the board thanks to Kyle Kendrick. An RBI double, his first ever 3-hit game. Time to stretch. Finally had a little offense, and it was provided by Kyle Kendrick, who drove in the only run of the night so far for either team. An RBI double. Brad Hand was just shaking his head as he was walking around the mound after allowing that double. He's been very good tonight. Kendrick's been very good tonight, as both these teams are swinging very early in the count. Well, it's time now, as we promised earlier in the game, for our AT&T fan photo of the game. This one coming from Jessica A. Deacon. A little but huge Philly fan. That's a great photo. Tweet your photo to hashtag Philly fan photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Kendrick, 3 hits tonight. 1 through 8, 3 hits tonight. He is the offense. He's everything tonight for the Phils. So now if he can get his heart rate down, he'll go to work in the bottom of the 7th inning against Garrett Jones, Echeverria, and Hernandez. All right, so he's at 198 innings pitched. He needs 2 more to reach 200 for the season. Give me a little thought process, Matt, about coaches at this point. Everybody aware of where he is and the importance of that number? Does it cross Bob McClure's mind? Does it cross Ryan Sandberg's mind?
Oh, I believe so. And I think what happens is a lot of things coming in this last week of the season. If guys need a certain amount of plate appearances for bonuses, if pitchers need to have a couple more appearances out of the bullpen, you know, there's a little piece of paper that's passed to managers and saying, here's a hint, just for a heads up. Now, I've seen managers, of course, I'll never name names, but I've seen managers that get the piece of paper and
crumble
say,
it up.
That guy will never reach it.
We talked about how important it is for a lot of pitchers to have this opportunity, particularly when it's the first chance. 1 ball, 1 strike to Garrett Jones. Over to first base. That's a foul ball. Now, there have been years where pitchers are battling for 300 strikeouts and maybe 300 innings, but those days are long since forgotten. Shutdown inning percentage for Kendrick. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Up and away, 2-2. Kyle did say that at some point this weekend there may be a chance that he pitches again, if need be. Although there's a ton of pitchers out in the bullpen that are probably looking for the same kind of work. Opposite way, and Jones is aboard. Darren Ruff's doing everything he can to get to that ball quickly. Jones is thinking too. The throw by Ruff is going to be offline. It's a leadoff double. 3rd double of the game. 4th extra base hit of the game. Non-stop action, heart-pounding excitement, historic performances. Don't miss the 2014 postseason beginning September 30th. Well, meeting on the mound and bullpen action starts for the Phils. Jake Diekman is up and throwing. Pitches by inning. He's worked out of trouble before. He worked out of trouble in the 3rd. Actually worked out of trouble in the 1st, in the 3rd, worked out of trouble in the 5th. And now an extra base hit to start the 7th inning. Corners are in. Echeverria, good bunter, squares, and he bunts it up the 3rd base line, and it rolls foul. Well, this is what we anticipated possibly happening in the 7th inning when the Phillies had a runner at first, but the runner was only at first. Now with a runner at second, this is the baseball play right here.
Correct. And get him over to 3rd base, knowing that you have Hernandez on deck. More than likely have a pinch hitter, Saltalamacchia for Mathis, and then of course hands on. He'll be pinch hit for sure.
And he bunts it in the air, and Nieve slipped. He wasn't going to get back there anyway. It wasn't hit high enough. But it's 0-2. One of the best bunters of his era is laying down the signs in the third base coach's box. Brett Butler.
He could deaden a bunt better than anybody. That's a tongue twister.
Try to put a helmet on right now and grab a bat and be able to do it. Swing and a miss. He got him. Big out. One away here in the 7th inning. Now Hernandez is coming up.
Real fast fastball, like a little cut fastball. Blew right by him.
Larry Vanover, the home plate umpire, is signaling to somebody behind the plate. There must have been something flashing. Down and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Mathis is out on deck. Reed Johnson has a bat, has his elbow guard on, stretching his legs in the dugout on the stairs. There he is. One ball, no strikes. 1-1. Upstairs, 2-1. Well, this is what Larry Vanover was not happy about. Right there, that gentleman with a video camera and a flash on it. I think it might have been the second base umpire, Paul Nart, who said something. It's either him or Utley. And a liner out toward right center field. That's going to split the gap and go to the wall. The Marlins will tie this up, and Hernandez, well, he may have his second triple of the night. No, he's going to have an extra base hit. He'll stop at second. Thankfully, Revere got to it quickly. So, a 1-out double. Then we're tied at 1. And Mathis will bat with a runner at second base.
Fastball out over the plate. Drove the ball to right field, and Tom, like you mentioned, Ben, get that ball nice and quick off the base of that wall to allow Hernandez to stay at second base.
Mathis is grounded out weakly and popped out weakly. Each team with 6 hits, each team with 1 run.
'80th pitch coming up.
With 1 out here in the 7th. Whether he's getting tired or not, and it is only 81 pitches or 80 pitches, he is starting to nibble a little bit here in the 7th inning. Off the end of the bat. and out of play. 2-1. Bullpen action. Ramos is to your left, Hatcher to your right. Both right-handers. We've said this before with the Phillies. Marlins take the lead. Ramos. They stay tied. Probably Hatcher. Diekman is ready to go if the Phillies choose to go to him. Three balls, one strike. You know, the Marlins have been one of the best teams in baseball, certainly the best team in the National League, with runs after the 7th inning. The run they've scored here in the 7th inning or later, the run they've scored here was their 235th of the season. And again, they've been depleted without Stanton, without Ozuna. Still able to push one across the plate in this inning. Three balls, one strike. And he just walked Jeff Mathis. That's a guy who didn't want to walk, even with the pitcher spot coming up, because now Reed Johnson is up with runners on first and second. Ryan Sandberg's heading out toward the stairs. Chase Utley's going in to talk to Kendrick. And Diekman is ready. Well, he may go out and make a pitching change. Sandberg's coming out. He's trotting out, though. Usually that's, it sounds strange, but usually that's an indication that a manager's not going to make a change when they're trotting out. I don't know why that is. He's coming out with a message.
Well, I think what it is, if he's walking out to the mound,
giving the pitcher one more time, a little more time.
Well, what it is when you walk to the mound, the pitcher thinks that all of a sudden, okay, he's done. Now, when you see him jogging out, you realize that he's going to stand for probably one more hitter.
All right, good point.
And that mentally he stays in the game. If you see a manager walk out slowly, automatically you're going to shut down, get frustrated, and say, okay, I'm out of the game. That's my.
It makes sense. Whether you agree with the mental part of it or not, there is something to it. Well, now Reed Johnson. Johnson is a .232 hitter overall. He and Baker are the first two weapons off the bench usually for the Marlins. Lays off the first pitch, and that just missed. 1-0. And I got to be careful because he's probably hunting a fastball with the count 1-0 with a runner in scoring position.
Two very good pitches right there.
Really close. I guess just a little down. First one may have been a little off the plate. Nieves, I believe, is saying something to Vanover right now.
As he should. It's been a strike all night. No need in the bottom of the 7th to change the strike zone.
Chopper back toward the box. Kendrick's got it. There's one. And quickly Galvis over to first in time. And that'll do it for the Marlins in this 7th inning. 1-6-3 double play. A run does score. The Marlins tie it up. We'll go to the 8th inning. We'll see if the middle of the order can get something going when we come back. Brought to you by Nissan. Get to your local Nissan store for the ride of your life and save big today. Buy the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. And buy the Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further. We're tied at 1 as we go to the top of the 8th inning. Kyle Kendrick talking to Bob McClure. He has 199 innings under his belt. All right, Murph, did you have a little idea what would happen when he went out to the mound? Ryan Sandberg, that is?
Well, I was just watching from where I'm sitting, and it looked to me like when Chase came out, you see right there, he put his glove up as Ryan started coming out of the dugout, kind of said, hold on one sec, because he was having a conversation with Kyle. Now, I'm not saying that Chase is dictating pitching changes and stuff, but it looked to me like maybe he said, you know what, he might have a little bit left, and that's Rhino starts to jog out and has that conversation with him and says, all right, let's see if he can get out of this. Of course, I'm speculating, but I thought it was interesting. It did look like he gestured, towards the dugout as Rhino came out, and I'm sure Kyle's aware of how close he is to 200 innings. I don't know. Matt, maybe you can answer that. If Rhino, do you think he's aware, or even Chase Utley out there at second base?
No, I think everybody is. Definitely, definitely KK knows he's at 199.
Kyle knows, yep.
And I think I'm pretty sure that everyone knows.
Well, I think as we go forward in this ball game, we're in the top of the 8th inning. His spot is not due up right now. As Franco hits one into left field, a base hit. He broke his bat. So he's 2 for 4 tonight. It'll be interesting to see what they do in the bottom of the 8th inning. That was a good catch, though, by Murph to see that, to see the, Utley's glove signal, if that was indeed a signal, as subtle as it was. Kenny Giles is throwing in the bullpen. Brad Penny is throwing for the Marlins. Kyle Kendrick did a heck of a job tonight. If his night is done. One ball, no strikes. Hatcher's numbers: 51st game, 0-2, an ERA of 3.13. The average is a strikeout per inning pitched, as you see.
But a very good arm, little live fastball. It has a very late run. It doesn't sink, but at 95 miles an hour or 96, he has that little tail at the end. At times he has a hard time controlling the fastball because it moves too much.
Outside, 3-0. There you go. That one ran out.
I just can't get over how many pitchers that come out of that bullpen average 95, 96. I mean, we have two guys at 100 miles an hour and 101 time with Giles, but it seems like everywhere you go nowadays, it's like if you throw 93, 94, you're soon going to the minor leagues.
Dudley takes strike one, 3-1. Well, it was USA Today last week that did a story about the number of guys who are able to hit 100 miles an hour. I mean, the number is increasing. That's in the minor leagues. Not as much major leagues, but in the minor leagues. Well, Kyle's had 3 hits tonight, 1 run over 7 innings. So he's a lot of thoughts rolling through his mind right now. Ground ball foul. It's 3-2.
So So what do you think? Coming back, done?
I don't think he's going out for the 8th inning. I could be wrong. I mean, Giles is throwing in the bullpen, and he's throwing as if he's getting ready to come in.
I think when Chase gets a hold of this ball at the right center, he hits, they score a run, he's going to go back out.
Maybe, yeah. Runner goes, pitch is popped up foul.
Trying to throw all those positive vibes up there for Kyle.
Get some positive vibes going, man.
And I'd like to see Chase hit another home run.
He said he's had 2 droughts this season. We were talking about it before the ball game. You know, the extended droughts that he's had. This one, it's been since the 10th of August. It's more than 130 at bats. He had one earlier in the year that went from the 13th of April into May. Runner goes again. Pitch is pulled towards second base. Franco is safe at second. Ground out is recorded. 4-3 on the putout. 1 out here in the 8th. If you're 30 years old or older, here's a chance for a lifetime. From January 21st to the 25th in Clearwater, Florida. It's Phillies Fantasy Camp. Call 610-520-3400 for more information. Space is running out. You can check out Phillies.com for information as well. You get a Phillies uniform, your name on the back, your favorite number, so much more. So check out the information now by calling 610-520-3400. Franco leads off second. Pitch is inside, 1-0.
A nice little pick by Mathis behind home plate.
Yeah, it was.
Let it eat. Just make sure you hit the right field. Get the barrel out. I'd like to see like the 448 mark up there underneath the Ford truck.
Well, he takes outside, ball 4. Unfortunately, he didn't go fishing for it. Now Marlon Byrd's coming up. Marlins 1 for 3, single to the second. Phillies have hit into a couple double plays today. He hit into one of them. The single was an infield single up the middle.
He's thrown 5 in a row. This is where you just got to make sure. And I know I've said it before, but you got to square it up. His fastball moves so much that you almost got to look out over the plate. Anything inside is going to end up being a ball. It's going to jam you real bad.
That one's fouled off the right field line and out of play, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Devers lead off. Dirt now 2-2. Mathis has blocked a couple in this inning. Marlins do have a couple of relievers warming up. Penny is joined by Ramos again in the bullpen. Meanwhile, Giles is throwing in the Phillies pen. He keeps throwing, so that's an indication he's coming into this game. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a line drive base hit into right center field. Franco's around third. He's heading home. He's going to score. It's an RBI single, and the Phillies retake the lead. It's 2-1. Second hit of the night for Marlon Byrd. 84 runs batted in for Marlon.
Oh, and that's the fastball right there that we talked about in the open and earlier. But getting the fastball down the zone, Marlon Byrd can get it the swing to the barrel of the ball very easily right there. Beautiful swing, stays through, drives it to right field. Balls that are elevated, he usually swings underneath, but that ball is down the zone and a nice piece of hitting.
All right, so Kyle Kendrick has the lead. Pitching change here at Marlins Park. The Phillies on top 2-1. We'll be back after this. Bank Park when the Atlanta Braves come to town. It's the final game of the 2014 regular season. All fans coming to the ballpark receive the fat head that you see right there. Features the 2015 schedule. Tickets can be purchased for all 3 games by going to Phillies.com. All right, so the Phillies have retaken the lead, and they've done so on an RBI single by Marlon Byrd. Tony Gwynn Jr. has come in to pinch run for the Phillies and for Ryan Howard. So Gwynn will go into play left. Ruff will move over to first base. AJ Ramos is the new pitcher for the Marlins. And Darren Ruff is the batter. Breaking ball, that's in there. It's 0-1. Barrett is 1 for 2. He walked his last time, came around to score the first run. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Ramos has been a workhorse for the Marlins this year. His ERA is at 2.20 as play begins tonight. 1-2. And a high pop-up right on the infield. Echeverria will be under it. This will be an infield fly rule, and the signal comes up from the umpires. 2 outs. And the Aves will bat. Dominic Brown is actually going to come up and pinch hit. Dominic 4 for 21 as a pinch hitter. Others lead off first and second.
So is that an indication that Kendrick's done? His personal catcher's done?
Yeah, I think he's done. 1 inning shy of 200, at least for the time being. They'll give him at least a chance to get an inning this weekend. The side day would be, on a normal turn, would be Friday or Saturday. Probably Friday, right? 2 days after start?
Yes.
Or maybe Saturday, because he would start again on Monday if the season would continue.
Right.
3 balls, no strikes to Dominic Brown.
So you let Hamill start on Saturday.
Sunday,
I mean, excuse me. Get his 200 innings. Take him out. Bring in Kendrick. Let him get his 200 innings.
Well, I think you have to give Hamels a chance to win the game, though, to get to 10 wins.
Correct.
Side ball 4. That'll load the bases up. And now Freddie Galvis will be the batter.
It's a very good point here, right there, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much. I mean, you talked about the individual stuff that they're trying to get. You are trying to win the game. We understand that, but Carlos Ruiz will come up as a pinch hitter because he's going to come in to catch. That one floats up high, 1-0. Jumpy on that. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And that's the swing I was talking about earlier. About when you use too much body, how you finish. It's a spin.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The runners lead off. And he hits a fly ball to shallow center field. Coming on is Hernandez. He's under it. Phillies do take the lead, though, on the RBI single by Marlon Byrd. They leave the bases loaded. And it looks like the bullpen is going to get the call. The Phillies lead it 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Kyle Kendrick, the pitcher of record, on the winning side right now. 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. All right, so Darren Ruff has a double and a run scored. Kyle Kendrick 3 hits and an RBI in this ball game. The Phillies just scored on an RBI by Marlon Byrd to take the lead. Marlon is 2 for 4. So the Phils have the lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and Ken Giles will be the new pitcher for the Phils. Darren Ruff, though, will take over at first base. He moves from left field to first base. And Dominic Brown will stay in the ball game to play left, not Tony Gwynn Jr. Kenny Giles will be the new pitcher. Giles 3-1, an ERA of 1.24. All right, so Kyle Kendrick now with 199 innings of work this year. You have to think that they'll get him an inning at some point this weekend to get to 200 for the season. So Giles is on to face the top of the order. Yelich. First pitch is low, 1 ball and no strikes. Yelich today is 1 for 3. He's grounded out. He's doubled the opposite way, and he's flied to left. All right, Vanover just asked Ken Giles to throw that ball out. Giles closed at least in the one game he could for Jonathan Papelbon. Well, Papel was serving the 7-game suspension. Overthrew that. It's now 2-0. Only 86 pitches for Kendrick. That one's out towards center. Ben Revere is there. And there's one out here in the 8th. Donovan Solano's coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, Tom, it's time for our Coors Light Cold Hard Fact, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. The Phillies bullpen has posted an MLB best 2.40 ERA since August the 5th. They've been holding opponents since that time to a batting average of .211, slugging percentage of just .296. Those numbers also best in baseball. They have been very, very good of late.
Excellent. In fact, Ryan Sandberg was talking about just the number of strikeouts that the bullpen has had over the last month or so. As you see Pap looking over the scouting report. Off the outside corner, 1 ball, no strikes to Solano. One ball, no strikes to Solano. He's 1 for 3. Good slider. 1-1.
And I've heard Jamie mention this many times about the bullpen. They feed off each other. And if it doesn't matter who it is, if Mario when he was healthy, or DeFreitas or Giles or whoever it is comes in, they just they pick each other up, and they're a very tight crew, and they've gone up and they've done an unbelievable job. And they will have an unbelievable career in that bullpen.
And as long as they stay healthy,
they will.
Out towards center again. Revere ventures back. Glide under it for the second out. 2 away here in the 8th. That'll bring Casey McGee to the plate.
Had a good little chat with Casey McGee about playing over in Japan. Says he enjoyed it, but he was very glad to be back in the States playing pro ball again.
We mentioned that he's going to get a chance to come back here next year. He will. As he dribbles that one up the first base line. 2-3 on the putout. 1-2-3 8th inning for Ken Giles. So he shut the door on the Marlins. We'll go to the 9th. The Phillies lead it 2-1 over Miami. Host your company's next holiday party or non-game day corporate or social event. Any time of year, host your next special event in one of our upscale, climate-controlled spaces, such as the Diamond Club, Hall of Fame Club, executive dining room. Now, there's some pluses involved. Not only it's a great place, but free parking, on-site catering, ballpark tours. Call 215-218-5100 for more information. Top of the ninth inning, it's 2-1. Carter Capps will be the new pitcher for the Marlins. And he'll be brought on to face Carlos Ruiz, who came on to catch in the bottom of the eighth inning. And then the top of the order for the Phils. Capps at his 15th game. 25 strikeouts, 18 2/3. Ruiz hitting .253 with 6 home runs and 31 runs batted in. Papelbon is warming up in the bullpen for the Phillies. Pitch is down low, 1 ball and no strikes. Ball is drilled foul. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Guy's got a little Jordan Walden in him.
Yes,
pitcher from the Braves. Now, he doesn't lift off the mound, but he definitely has the same sort of motion.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know how you repeat all that stuff as a pitcher.
Neither, but you see that back foot, the jump and the drag, and
actually he is very similar to Walden.
Yeah. Walden might have his toe up a little higher on this back foot. And they both throw 96, so apparently it works.
With a slider, 2-2. Line drive, base hit it to left center field. So Ruiz is aboard that 9 spot. He's provided a pretty good spark here today. Kendrick was 3 for 3. Now Ruiz. And Ben Revere will be the batter. Phillies postgame live is coming up right after this ball game. Ricky Vitalico is hanging out, ready to break this one down. The game 2 between the Phils and the Marlins, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Sam Dyson is up and warming in the pen.
You think this would be a budding situation right here?
McGee is charging at third. That ball, I think that may have hit Revere. And it did. It hit him right in the foot. So that'll put runners on first and second. Now they're going to appeal whether he bunted at it, and is going to say no. The third base umpire, Vic Carapazza. Oh, right on the knee. And now meeting on the mound to talk about the defensive alignment, because Franco could be up there to try to bunt. the runners up into scoring position, both runners in scoring position. What do you think?
Has he ever bunted before?
I've only been with him for a couple weeks, but
has he bunted since you've been here?
I don't think so.
I don't.
You think he's going to swing away?
I gotta believe so.
Well, he squares. They turn back towards second to see. Franco bunts it toward first. Boer's going to go to third in time to get Ruiz. Carlos feels like he got there in time. Ryan Sandberg is starting to stroll out. McGee was knocked to his backside. Now the key is, if you're Franco, is to bunt that ball toward third. He bunted it toward first. And Boer, left-handed fielder, was able to come across, sweep the throw over to third. I think he got him. What do you think?
Oh, it looks like he was safe.
I thought he made the throw over there. I should say came over to right-handed, came over and swept the throw over to third. I think he slowed before he got to the bag. Now they are going to review it. No reason why they wouldn't at this point. Carlos is still hanging on the third base bag. So this play is under review. It's our first replay of this series. Phillies are hoping they'll have the bases loaded with nobody out instead of first and second with one out. Now part of this, as we've talked about all year long, is whether there's enough to overturn it. Now right there, the foot is not on the bag and the ball is not in the glove. Now it's in the glove, it looks like.
But his heel's on the bag right there.
Yeah, I think that's one of those that's too close to call. I think they're going to keep it. I think it'll be a force out at third. Now I could be way wrong with it, but I think it's going to be a force out at third.
Well, I think your point earlier that you made is that you have to bunt the ball to third base in that situation.
Oh, absolutely.
You have to have the third baseman field the ball.
I was still surprised they were going to third on it, but you could hear pretty clearly Mathis yelling third, third. And give Boer credit because he got the backhand and fired over to third base. There have been, I think, a lot of calls overturns this year. Now you see it right there. 289 have been confirmed, and here's the ruling on this one. 557 have been overturned, and he's out of third base. So that may be one of those call stands, not confirmed. Now they're going to say it's confirmed. So that means that they feel they got it right. That it wasn't inconclusive. So usually if it's call stands, that means there's not enough evidence to overturn it. Call confirmed means that they in New York saw it clearly that he was out. That's what they're saying happened. So now Utley's up with one out. Chase is 0 for 3 with a walk on the outside corner. 0-1.
I think the last couple innings have taken as long as the first 6, but supposed to play.
Yeah, the first 6 were moving pretty good. Both starters were in a great rhythm. And they were throwing strikes. Breaking ball 0-2 to Utley. This young man has got a lot of fidget to him. See the numbers with runners in scoring position, 2 for 17 combined. Just off the outside corner, 1-2 to Utley.
99.
He's also got a little Ricky Vitalico in him, where he takes his spike and pulls down his pant leg over his other spike. Ricky used to do that all the time. In the dirt. Now 2-2. Back toward the middle, off the mound. Echeverria has it and turns the double play. Well, Utley hit it hard, but it was right at Echeverria where he was shading. So the Phillies leave a base runner. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The return of Jonathan Papelbon with the Phillies up by 1. Well, we always say you come to the ballpark, you might see something for the first time. How about Kyle Kendrick getting 3 hits for the first time?
Hitting the line drive to left field, then coming up and hitting the ball to right field, and then good piece of hitting the ball up the middle for an RBI double. Left field, right field, center field, the perfect thing you want to do. And that is why he's happy. He's clapping because he got the demonstration deliveries of the game.
Well, he stands to be the winner if Jonathan Papelbon can get the last 3 outs here tonight. Phillies lead it 2-1. Papelbon is returning to face the Marlins, the last team he faced before he was suspended by Major League Baseball. He blew the save on Sunday afternoon. 2-3 with a 2.10 ERA last Sunday afternoon. Try to pick up his 38th save of the season. There's his last outing, the 14th of September. 4 runs, 4 hits. There was a misplay by Chase at second base that kind of opened the door for that inning. First batter he'll face is Justin Bour, who's 0 for 3. And Bour swings at the first pitch. It's 0-1. Now, to prepare for his return, Papelbon did throw a side session the other day in Oakland. He was allowed to be with the team prior to the game. He was not allowed to be there with the team during the game. In fact, he was up in the press box in San Diego when the Phillies were playing the Padres. One ball, one strike to Bohr. Outside, 2-1. Every time the Phillies pitchers retire, the opposition 1-2-3. Kyle Kendrick had a couple of those innings tonight. So did Ken Giles. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. 2 balls, 1 strike to Bohr. Fly ball left field. Dominic Brown is out there, and he's under it, and 1 away. So Papelbon has the first out. Pap has really had a good year. 37 saves. First year with the Phillies, he recorded 38 saves. The most he's ever recorded in a season was 41 in 2008 with the Red Sox. There are a lot of people that thought the Phillies would see the Red Sox in that World Series in 2008.
Right.
Garrett Jones's numbers against Pat. He's 1 for 3 tonight. He has scored the only run for the Marlins. At the knees, and it's 1-1.
So far, Paps doesn't look too rusty. I know he threw a side. It's a little different throwing side and then getting on the mound.
Now toward left center field. Dominic Brown on the run. He dives and he dropped the ball. And Jones will get to second base. All right, so the tying run is in scoring position. You kind of had the sense that ball was slicing back toward him, that he might have a play. And he did what he could. He's fortunate that he was able to knock it down when he didn't pick it up.
He got a tremendous jump, and like you said, Tom, the ball slicing back, and he almost made an unbelievable catch right here. It stays in his glove, and right there, pops out.
We saw that play the other day in San Diego, which he hung on to and then rolled it and hurt his shoulder. All right, so the tying run is at second. Jordani Valdespin is coming on to pinch run. And the batter now is Echeverria with a runner at second base. Phillies play the infield back. The outfield shades Echeverria to go the other way. And a high fly ball, shallow left center. Revere or Brown. It's Brown. 2 outs. Boy, how fortunate is Pap there. He made a good pitch, but that Echeverria swung at the first pitch.
It's a slider right down the middle of the plate.
But it started telling just a little bit. He may have been thinking fastball in that spot. Well, now Kike Hernandez. Hernandez is 2 for 3. He's got a double and a triple. Fastball in there, 91, and it's 0-1. Papelbon is second all time on the Phillies saves list with 104, 8 behind Jose Mesa. Oh, 2. 323 saves in his career. Don't forget, tomorrow the Phillies will wrap up their road schedule with a 4 o'clock first pitch here in Miami. Phillies pregame live underway at 3:30. We'll be on at Comcast Sportsnet. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him a high fastball. And Jonathan Papelbon picks up yet another save. It's number 38 on the year. And the Phillies win it 2-1 over the Miami Marlins. Well, Pap has not worked since the 14th of September. He really didn't have any rust to kick off at all tonight. That last pitch at 91 up in the zone. And it's career save number 105 in a Phillies uniform and number 324 overall. He saves it for Kyle Kendrick in what was probably his last start